No.
Baby.
Mama's pregnant. Judah, can you say baby?
Baby.
Baby.
This is moments before Kelty and Hunter go to the hospital.
And action.
Action.
You first. Ladies first.
Right on cue. Our induction to deliver Harrison was scheduled for the evening of October 20th at 7 p.m. But in true Haley fashion, we show up 15 minutes late, and they had given away the room that they had prepared for me because a lady had just walked in screaming for her epidural. So they had me wait out in the waiting room for about an hour before they had a clean room to give me. So during that time, Hunter went and got
In-N-Out Burger, tradition.
During that time, I was actually having some contractions. Earlier that morning at about 9:50 a.m., I started having stronger than normal contractions, and I wasn't sure if they were still Braxton Hicks or if it was the start of labor. Anyways, once they did bring me back to the delivery room, they went ahead and did my first cervical check, and I was actually at 3 to 4 centimeters and 90% effaced, which I was kind of excited about because, you know, those contractions that I had been feeling earlier really were doing something. And I had been sitting at 1 centimeter for the past month. So my nurse, Morgan, went ahead and called the on-call doc and asked, hey, what do you want to do? Because we were supposed to start with the cervical ripening agent, the Cytotec, but her cervix is already completely ripened, if you will. The doc ended up saying, hold off on the Cytotec. Her body's already getting started. New plan was just to let my body do its thing until the morning when Dr. Lesby came at 7 or 8 o'clock a.m. So went to bed at about 11. At 1:40 I woke up and was starting to have some contractions. These were a little bit more intense, just felt like I really had to pee. So I got up, went to the bathroom, and that made it a little bit better, but it was still kind of intense, so things were progressing. My nurse checked my cervix, and I was at 4 centimeters, and she said his head was sitting a little bit lower, so still seeing some progress. At 2:48 a.m., I woke up with some pretty painful contractions. I was thinking, okay, maybe it's about time for the epidural. I wasn't getting any sleep. I was having to breathe through the contractions. So I went ahead and called in my nurse, and she got the anesthesiologist.
I was sleeping like a baby.
Yeah, you woke up when the anesthesiologist was in the room, and I was like, oh, hey.
Trophy wife.
We're doing this now. It was 3:45 a.m. when I got my epidural placed. It worked like a charm. It was wonderful. It was great. Couldn't feel anything. Epidural worked very nicely.
I think you've made that point.
It was magic. At about 4:15 a.m., I was comfortable. It felt still. And it just kind of hit me, this flood of emotions. Just thinking about the brotherhood that Judah and Harrison were going to have, and just getting to meet our son, and I just kind of broke down into tears. It was just a really sweet moment because it was just like, okay, it's happening. We're having this baby, and our lives are about to change for the better. It was just a really sweet moment of gratitude for the abundant blessing. And then I went to sleep. At 5:40, my nurse actually came in and woke me up because my blood pressure had dropped to 80/30, which is pretty significantly low. And Harrison had had a heart rate deceleration with my most recent contraction. So they ended up calling the anesthesiologist back in, and he gave me a dose of ephedrine to help bring my blood pressure up. And they were all really surprised that I wasn't feeling symptomatic, because usually if your blood pressure is that low, you're feeling pretty crummy. But they were able to fix that with some ephedrine, and I was able to continue sleeping, and
It was
all good.
It was the in and out. She carved up, so she felt fine.
At 7:15, my day shift nurse, Amanda, came in to introduce herself to me, and she asked, hey, do you want me to check your cervix, or do you want to wait until Dr. Lesby gets to the room? And I said, whatever you want to do. She's like, oh, it's been a few hours. Let's go ahead and take a look. Well, she took a look, and she was like, well, it's time to push, so don't move. She said, you're dilated to a 10, you're 100% effaced, your water broke, don't cough, basically, don't breathe, don't move. They called Dr. Lesby. She was there within 10 minutes. I pushed for 5 minutes.
Didn't even have time to put your makeup
I
on.
literally didn't have time to put makeup. I asked my nurse, do I have time to brush my teeth, put my contacts in, and put some makeup on? She goes, maybe put your contacts in. I didn't even do that. So after 5 minutes of pushing, Harrison was born at 7:38 a.m. on October 21st.
2022.
He was 7 pounds, 12 ounces.
19 inches long.
19 inches long. He came out with this white blonde hair.
And then there he is.
And here he is. His delivery was really sweet because Hunter and I are both planners, and we loved having that induction for Judah because we could count on the date and the time, and we were prepared, and part of us wanted that for Harrison's delivery, but the other part of me really wanted to experience a spontaneous labor. It was the best of both worlds because we didn't have to do any induction measures. He just came in his own time, but we still checked into our scheduled induction. It was really sweet. Really sweet time.
Yep.
Creatures of my dreams raise up and dance with me. Now and forever, I'm
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true.
These arms.
Can't take my
Guilty.
eyes off of you.
It's heavy.
That'll help you.
Okay. He's
Pardon
in.
the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm a lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you.
He likes that.
Hi, buddy. Oh, Harrison. Harrison Luke, 1021. A day marked forever.
I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.